I hope you love some theater because you are listening to Keith Price's Curtain Call. Okay, are you feeling the vibe? Are you getting your groove on? We're living in the 60s zone. It is I, Keith Price, here for Keith Price's Curtain Call, and bringing you again some of the fun names that are working out in the world of the theater here in New York City, as well as when they get an opportunity to travel and do something, you'll probably be seeing them in your town. But if you are inclined to enjoy what I like to call the musical review, which is what this show is, then you should put the Trip of Love on your agenda of things to see, especially if you are someone of a certain age like myself.
You look good.
Well, but I'm trying to hold it together. Where this music, at some point in your childhood, you know that you've heard this music before, and it brings back and evokes a lot of really interesting memories. And I have one of the stars here from the Trip of Love, currently at, what is it, the 40...
Stage 42.
Stage 42, because they keep changing the names. But it's Stage 42 here in New York City. And I'm talking to Miss Dionne Figgins. Hello, my darling.
Hello, Keith. Good to see you again.
Okay, so the last time I met with you, we first of all did this interview like out in the hallway, someplace very ghetto. So, hello. So we have moved on up now. We are in Midtown.
Yes, we are. Fancy.
Sitting in a little studio right across the street from the Applebee's. How you doing?
Hey,
because we can get us little fries or something after. But we, again, I connected very strongly with her because she is having a moment right now that, again, lots of people that are listening to this show and listening to the foolishness that I like to bring out in myself when it comes to theater is that I get very excited about that. And when you get to meet people who have careers, and I mean careers, like she's paying her bills, feeding herself, living her life in New York City as an actor in a show that has not yet gone away, knock on wood. You are having a dream. Does it feel like you're in a dream state still right now?
It does. Sometimes I walk on stage and I remember my first show in New York. I remember being in the ensemble of Hot Feet.
With Maurice Hines. Who just finished a run of his show here.
Exactly. And I remember, I was an understudy at that time. And my goal in theater has always been to be able to be the one who has the moment, who gets to walk on that stage and capture the audience. And so every night when I walk on stage, even if I'm tired, I remember being that girl who, that was my dream, and now it is happening. And I sometimes I can't believe it, but I'm so grateful that it's happening, and it's happening in the perfect time in my life, because I don't think if it had happened earlier, I would have been ready. But now I understand the discipline that it takes to be able to do 8 shows a week and be on 0 at the same time. It's not like being on 12.
Okay.
0 and 12 are two different things.
12 is like a vacation, right?
Hello. You be holding a stick on 12 in the background, in the shadow of the stars, I can just dial this one in. You can't dial it in.
Yes,
There's no dialing it in. And so I'm really, it is a dream. Definitely.
Wow. Dionne Figgins with me here on Keith Price's Curtain Call, and we're talking about her star turn right now in Trip of Love. And of course, again, as she said, that this has been work to get to this place. She was an understudy in Motown.
Yes.
She went on as Diana Ross on several occasions from Miss Felicia.
Miss Felicia. Hey, Felicia.
Honey, how you doing? And now Motown is in London right now in the West End, and Cedric is having a great moment. We're just talking, I'm telling all these names like, because I know people and stuff.
He fancy.
But again, you know what it's like to stand in the trenches, and that's the thing that I want people to get when they're listening to this, especially if you're an aspiring actor, like lots of us are to some degree, that it's a lot of work.
It really is. I come from a concert dance background.
Exactly.
So I didn't grow up singing and acting. I grew up dancing. I was in
which is a discipline on its own.
It is my discipline, I'm very grateful to have that. And, the funny thing is that as you progress, especially in theater and acting, people try to tell you that you have to stop dancing in order to be taken seriously. But when I think about my idols, people like Cheetah Rivera and Eartha Kitt and Catherine Dunham, you know, all these amazing women Josephine Baker, who were able to use their dance to further all these other crafts that they were able to develop. I started to realize, like, I have to always feed the dance. I have to always honor the dance because that's the only reason why I'm here.
Wow.
I've been paying my bills as a dancer since I was 19, you know? Okay. And so now...
And she's only 20.
Well, you know, keep it young and fresh. You know how we do. You know, Black don't like to crack too much. So.
We got to moisturize, though.
But yeah, you know, I have to continue to feed that original passion because that's why I'm here. And all the other things that I've been able to add, you know, in terms of the acting and the singing, that was the work, because the dance, I've been doing that since I was 4. The work has been the voice lessons and the acting lessons that had to come later after I had already established myself as a dancer, you know, having danced at Dance Theater of Harlem with Complexions Contemporary Ballet, coming into this world with a very strong concert dance background. A lot of people didn't necessarily think that I would be able to sing or act, and it took me a long time. It took me 10 years of being in theater. I mean, I did Hot Feet in 2006. So it's 2016. It took me 10 years to have an opportunity of all my own. And so it just is a testament to never giving up. And when you have a goal in mind, and that's always been my goal, is to wherever I am, it's always been to be on center.
Right.
You know, so if that's the goal, then you have to go with your full self to that goal. You have to meet it with all of your might and all of your determination and the money to pay for all these lessons, because it ain't been cheap. So then there's that. But you know, but it's been. But finally, you know, now I've seen it. You know, progressively with Motown, and all these experiences have led me to this time. And hopefully, this is just the beginning. And hopefully, somebody else will say, "Hey, I want that girl to stand on center in my next piece." Yes. That's the goal.
Because, honey, okay, Dionne Figgins with me here on Keith Price's Curtain Call, because I have to set it up again. And we're talking about her turn right now in Trip of Love, which is going on right now at Stage 42 here in New York City. You can get tickets everywhere you can get your tickets. You can do them. And it was funny because right after I saw her piece, like, the first introduction you really get to Dionne in this show is in this wonderful montage of These Boots Are Made for Walking.
Yes, honey. That epic piece.
Can I just say,
it's so epic.
I sat there, I was like, this girl is giving me full-on story through this song. Like, how did they even construct this story of this young Black girl trying to get her own on, and it goes from forcing her way backstage into a show to becoming the show? It's sort of like you get to do your whole life story in this song.
Exactly.
Is that what that feels
That's
like to you?
That's exactly what it feels like. When I walk on that stage, it is as if I had just moved to New York and I was fighting my way in these auditions, and you know, because it's everyone's talented.
Exactly.
You know, so when you walk into that room, everyone's got it. They came, their hair is snatched back to the back of the back, and the resume is thick, and the tights are pulled up to the neck, and everyone's
ready to go.
They are ready. So that's that feeling of, okay, I'm here. I'm in this new place, which is basically Jennifer's story in Boots Are Made for Walking. She's arrived in Hollywood. And, you know, at that time in the 60s, there were no people of color on a variety television show.
Nope.
You know, so...
If they did, it wasn't their show.
Right.
It was being on someone else's show. It might be
like
the
Supremes showing up to Ed Sullivan, but there was no
Exactly.
regular dancer on the Hullabaloo show, which is
Right.
basically what this is based after.
Right.
Boots Are Made for Walking. And so here she is, knowing the challenge that's in front of her. But knowing that I'm good, I'm talented. I've paid my dues in terms of the training and the preparedness to be able to step into this world, not just talent-wise, but also from a spiritual place of knowing who you are, you know, and that's the work also that a lot of performers miss a little bit when we walk into the room. It's like you've done all this preparation for your talent. You've taken all the lessons in the classes, but it really is a knowing that you belong there, that I belong to be here. I deserve to be here.
Wow.
If you've done the work, you deserve to be in that room. And I think a lot of young performers, they base everything on the talent, not realizing that who you are is as important as what it is that you can do.
Dionne Figgins with me here on Keith Price's Curtain Call. And you've said so far two things in this conversation that we've had that have resonated very deeply with me on such a different, I mean, in that the wisdom that you're putting forth is, I can totally apply that right to myself as we're speaking right now. Because the first thing for me was you talked about serving your dance thing. And I have had a life as a comedian that I love. And I forgot that through my own personal transitions now from where I was before to what I'm doing right now, that in that time frame, I had not served my comedy beast. And I've gotten back to serving that comedy beast. And ever since I made that commitment to do that, it feels like I'm getting to the zero.
Right.
You know, same thing with this. It's sort of like to sit here now and talk to you again from a different place where before I was doing something for someone else, basically. And now I'm here standing on my own doing this and being supported by really wonderful people like your PR folks that are here with me, everything. And there is a different kind of confidence that I've taken on. And this has just been within the last few weeks now, having started to do this and bringing back my life as a comedian, that there's really interesting power in that.
Absolutely.
How deeply are you feeling that power? Do you feel that every time you walk into an audition?
Well, here's the thing. I've been dancing since I was 4. So I might not be the best dancer on the planet of Earth, but I will twirl you on that floor.
Okay.
I will do my damnedest to twirl on that floor because that is my home. So it is empowering because I'm coming from sometimes, and this is my own battle, because I started late singing and because I started late acting, I'm competing with people who have been doing those things their whole life now. But I know that I want to dance. I know that the roles that I want to do encompass dance and vocals and acting. And so regardless of what anyone else is doing vocally or acting wise, I know for fact that when it comes to the dancing, I'm going to excel. And that's why I continue to feed it, because it is a confidence thing. I have to know that there is a zero, you know, a place that is safe where I know that my skills will always serve me. Right. And I'm starting to feel that type of confidence now, having been training in vocals and acting for the last, 10, 15 years. But it's taken a long time. It takes a long time to become a master of anything. Absolutely. And so I continue to dance, but there was a point where I had stopped dancing just so that I could spend all my time in vocal classes and spend all my time in acting classes. But once I started feeling like, okay, these crafts are catching up. Like, my skill set is catching up to the dance. I immediately went back to dance class because I knew that when the opportunity came, I wanted to be able to dance and sing and act. That's my brand. Right. That's what I want to do. And so, I will never stop dancing. Like, I look at people like Carmen de Lavalade. I went to see her in concert last year, and she's like, what is she, 80-something years old? And she's still, and she's not doing kicks or anything, but that's not what dance is about. Dance is just movement. It's life. Life is choreography. Funny. And so, because of that, I know I'll never stop dancing. And I hope that I can dance. And then someone would be like, she's got a good voice. She's got a great voice. I like her singing voice. Oh, her acting. Oh, she's fantastic. That's what I'm hoping for. But the dance is always going to be there. I love that. Oh my God, Dionne Figgins with me here on Keith Price's Curtain Call. And we are taking time just to sit and gab and chat and catch up because, again, this is someone who, if you don't know who Dionne Figgins is, this is an opportunity for you to get out your Google, pull out your phone, because I know if you're not already listening, you know what I'm saying? Go to Figgins the Lip over on the Twitter, honey, and let her read you. I'll try to be nice. I do too, but sometimes people be trying you. Well, I said, I woke up this morning, I was like, you know what? I don't know, maybe I'm feeling a little petty today. I know that's so wrong to say, but times it's hard out there. People really try you sometimes. It's just like, and it's funny being in this business because like you have to monitor everything you say. Absolutely. And so, more so now than 20 years ago. Right, and that is not who I am, So I find myself monitoring myself, and I'm like, ooh, but I just really want to be kind of petty right now. Like, what happened to petty? Petty is cool. And then, like, in a nice petty kind of way, but you can't.
But
it's
you know
not
why?
appropriate.
You know why you can't do it? Because no one will understand that that's really the basis behind it.
And no one has a sense of humor. And, like everyone's kind of sensitive about stuff. So you got to like be PC about everything, which is definitely not my brand. But I'm trying to navigate.
Well, you know what it is? You have to do what I learned from Wendy Williams, which is you got to have your kitchen table talk, honey. And you got to have your friends that you can come in, kick your shoes off, pull up the coffee, the tea, the Pinot,
they ain't pulled out
whatever
their phone and take all the pictures. You be like, leave the phone at the front. Don't bring the phone back here.
It's going to be 1978 right now.
You know I have a flip phone.
Word.
For that very reason. I was like, I'm done. Tap out. I'm like, I've tapped out. I'm so good.
But it's always so good because I think that, like for this, like just that and alone, like, do you have that circle of friends now that you can call and y'all, that what's being said between the two of you is going to be dished, through eyes when y'all are out in public, you'll do that moment, be like,
oh, definitely. You have to have those people, though, because, especially with the age of social media, it's really hard to meet people, especially in this business, because everyone is promoting themselves.
I know.
So it makes it difficult to know if you're meeting the actual person or if you're meeting their professional representative.
Right.
So you have to have people. I mean, my friends, I've known them since I was 5. Like my closest friends. Okay. I have a series of those friends. And then I have friends that, I pick up friends along the way. I've got some great friends from shows that I've done. But the circle is small. I'm going to be honest. For me, like, I'm just a very kind of introverted, extroverted type of person.
Right.
So I like my circle small, tight, and cute.
Okay. Now.
Hey.
She just spoke, Miss Dionne Figgins. How you living? Oh my God! So again, you're doing this wonderful show. You're having the time of your life. You're experiencing that joy that every actor would really want. At this stage now, what's next for you? I know you're doing TV. You just, was it the Stars series?
I was on Flesh and Bone on Stars, and I'm hoping to do more of that. That's the goal, is to do more film and television. I would really love to do an original stage piece. I'm hoping that with all of the dance that's happening and the resurgence of the triple threat, not to say that it went anywhere, but when I think of people like Cheetah Rivera, and I bring her up so often because me and Cheetah are from the same, we're from the same city and from the same studio.
Wow.
So, in Hinton Battle, like, these are people who I'm familiar with, not just because they are who they are, but because I grew up watching these people dance. I grew up looking at their pictures in the studio. They were trained by the same woman that I was trained by, Doris Jones, in Washington, D.C.
Wow.
And so, I'm hoping that a theatrical piece will come around that will really serve dancers that sing and act. That's really, and they circle around every so often, but there used to be this golden era of like song and dance on film and television, like the long sequence where there was no edits. Yeah. You just see Fred Astaire dancing for 5.5 minutes, no God. Edit. Like that. I'm hoping.
Was that Gene Kelly and Sid Charisse moment in Singing in the Rain?
Exactly.
Like that.
That's what I'm hoping can happen again. And I think that the talent is out there. I know so many talented dancer, singer, actors that are pretty much sitting on their talent, because there's not enough opportunities for them to do their craft. And I think we're in a time where, with shows like American in Paris, On the Town, now Trip of Love, off Broadway, it's really showing that dancers are very strong storytellers.
Exactly.
Like, we tell stories with our bodies, but that just because I'm a dancer doesn't mean I can't speak.
Right.
Like, I'm speaking to you right now.
I love it. I'm looking at you right now, and as you're talking about the I guess the desert that is the creative flow things, and I'm looking at you, and already now for me, I see the Josephine Baker story as I'm looking right at you.
Right.
Like, you are that person that should be doing the full story, head to toe, drama, laughter, pain. I can see it. And part of it is because I'm looking at you and I see a little bit of Lynn Whitfield in your face. And I'm thinking, okay, Is that rude to tell her that?
No.
Or should I just say, because it is amazing. As you're talking, I thought,
that's been the story.
Stage musical.
Yeah, that's been the story. Lynn Whitfield. Actually, I interviewed Lynn Whitfield on a red carpet a few years ago for the Urban Film Festival. And I'm standing there with her, and I can't even believe it, because for years people have told me I look like this woman. I've been following her career forever. I'm such a fan. And she says, "You look like you could be my daughter." I said, oh my gosh, I've arrived. I'm here.
Yes.
I'm a star. Lynn Whitfield said it. But, again, like Josephine Baker, and I mean, Shuffle Along is happening right now. And I know that she is actually being played in the show by a friend of mine, Felicia Boswell, which I think is fantastic because Felicia's a fantastic actress. So I'm excited that these stories are starting to happen. Eartha Kitt, I would love to be Eartha Kitt anywhere, anytime, any place. Yes. So, there are all these opportunities and all these icons whose stories should be told. And I'm hoping, it's always the hope. And listen, I never get sad when the role goes to someone who may not necessarily encompass everything that I think they should be. But it is, it is a little heartbreaking, for us in the community who have trained to be prepared to take on these roles. And I understand, theater is about safety now, people don't take a lot of risks, which is why you have a lot of movies being made into, theatrical productions. You have a lot of books and screenplays and revivals, there's room for all of these things. But I'm really hoping, and I see people doing it, and perhaps I'll just have to do it myself, because I write also. So perhaps it's the type of thing where you have to do it yourself to create something new, a new story, something fresh, and we see it happening. Hamilton is a new idea, and look at how successful it is.
Wow.
Because people are yearning for something original. They want to see something new. They want to have a new experience, and hopefully we're circling around to people taking risks again, because theater is risky.
It's a very risky
business. It really is. So I completely understand why investors and producers aren't necessarily always interested in taking that risk. But then when you take the risk and you invest the time to develop something, Hamilton took years to develop. It's not like they just did that last year and then slapped it up on stage. That was years in the making. But the payoff
is everything.
Right. It's everything. So, I'm super grateful to have this opportunity, Trip of Love, because I think it really shows that when you take a risk on talent, because I was in the ensemble, I was on 12.
Okay.
I was. And now granted, I've been able to understudy and things, but the fact that James Walsky, our director and choreographer, took a risk on me and so many other young performers in the show to give us an opportunity and a platform to do our craft I'm so grateful for that, because it's not like anyone else was really giving me that opportunity. And now he's presented me with this opportunity to have a platform, and it's worked.
Okay.
I just happen to actually, think I'm pretty good in it, and so do other people, which is great, because now hopefully that'll just bring me to whatever the next opportunity is.
And I think really what's great too about this, and I'm talking with Dionne Figgins here on Keith Price's Curtain Call, what I love the most about you in this role is that it is very clear, at least for someone like me who's sitting in the audience looking at you, or someone like my niece that I would love to sit in the audience and look at you, is that you're showing that there is a place for us.
Yes.
And granted, it's part of that same conversation about having allies. Because if that producer did not look at you and say, you know what? What if we decided to do this with her instead of what we already had planned?
Right.
And see how that works. And that's that moment where opportunity meets preparation. And that's your luck moment.
Right.
And that's the luck. That's what it's all about. And so for you, I'm telling this because it's all about those boots when she comes.
Yeah, those boots are hot.
I'm like, look at her. And then that Cher-like wig that she's sporting.
Honey,
I'm like, you better work. But having a truly simple, for lack of a better term, musical experience of, this is my talent. This is, I can sing and I can dance and I can act. And I'm going to sing, dance, and act through this entire 5.5, 7-minute montage. And you're going to get to see me tell you a story like any other actor would be able to do with everything that I have in this moment.
Right.
The dream.
It's the dream. It is definitely the dream, and I definitely don't take it for granted. And it's been work every single day. It's not like I'm showing up to work, casually strolling in. There's nothing casual about anything happening at the Trip of Love. Those kids over there are working hard. I just want to give a shout out to my amazing cast, because this cast is incredible. They are so professional. They're some of the most professional performers I've ever worked with in the business. And everyone's very dedicated to doing the best show they can do every night, and those bodies are not lying. Honey. Those bodies on that stage are not playing, honey. It make you want to go do 12 sit-ups right now. Drop and do 10 push-ups where you're at.
I just gave up. After I saw the show, I was like, yeah, I can't. Because I will never. And I say this with having gone to the gym a lot and tried to diet and do all the... It ain't ever gonna look like that. There's no way that discipline to get to that will never pass through this body.
No one in the show, I mean, like, I'm sure there are people in the show who are like going to the gym and like kicking it up, but for the most part, people are just coming to do the show. The show is doing
the work
that for us. And, I know for that alone, I'm very grateful, because Lord knows I hate going to the gym. So if I can just go to work and get it, and I'm like, I'm just going to get it over there from 8 to 9:30, and that's what I'm going to do.
That's my exercise. And then I'm going to have a burger.
All right. Late night style, too. Who even does that? I'm going to have a late night burger.
Oh, my God. Dionne Figgins. Well, thank you so much for taking some time and chatting with me here on The Curtain Call, because, again, this is like a new place for me, and I'm so glad that I can bring, the relationship that we did create at the very first part when I first was doing other things, to be able to bring it here and it still be just as relevant and just as fresh.
Yes, and thank you so much for having me. It's always great sitting down with you, and I'm so happy for your new digs. This is very cute, you guys, if you can see it.
Very intimate.
Need some incense or something in here,
right?
honey. Hey!
Perfect with the Trip of Love.
Exactly, a little mushroom treat, maybe.
Hey. I'm going to get a lava lamp and put over in this corner.
I have one.
Oh, hey.
From Trip of Love. I can give it to you. Yeah, I'm going to bring that over as a little housewarming gift for you.
I love it. So if you guys are planning your trips to New York City and you're planning your theater runs and you're looking to see, everything that you can possibly see, this is certainly one of the shows that you can add to your list. And I say this because I know that not everyone that comes from out of town is coming to get their, Greek tragedy on, and they're not coming to get, the deepest, the William Inge moment. They're not looking to be picnicked. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, no, I understand.
But at the same time, they want to come and be entertained. They want to come and have a good time. Yeah. And this show, Trip of Love, is definitely one of the shows that I can totally recommend on that list of not only come see fun show, fun set, lots of colors, but see some kids up there working. Like, know that the money that you're putting in that ticket price
is well worth it,
because, again, there are lots of things and opportunities for you to see things in New York. And again, this is one of those things also too, and I don't mean to make it sound that way, but it's certainly a little bit more affordable than trying to get a ticket to Hamilton.
Oh, well, or
even the Lion King. Can't you still get a ticket to the Lion King? Hello,
still kicking over there.
What?
But we're doing pretty good on the Trip of Love off Broadway.
Because you've already had your 100th show now.
We're at like 170 at this point, so this
is good.
Very
Knock
great.
on wood,
Knock on wood, from your mouth to God's ears. Keep it running.
Keep us still working.
Okay.
And again, certainly one of those shows that you can put on your list. So tripoflove.com, I believe, is the website, yes, that you can get your tickets if you're coming to New York. Any, other outlets that you can find tickets, you can certainly do those as well. But definitely, if you're coming and you have a stretch of time to be able to see different things, go to see your museums, go do this, make sure you put Trip of Love on your list. So again, Miss Dionne, thank you so much for hanging out with me here.
Thank you too.
And we will be back at some point in time as we continue the Curtain Call saga that is my life. And next time we'll have some fabulous guests too. They're all coming out. They're coming to talk to me so that you can have them. This is really beautiful. So have a fabulous, fabulous evening and a fabulous day, whatever time you're listening to me. And we'll talk again soon.
Talk soon.
Pow.